Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Nikki Starr, and today we are doing something a little bit different, which I feel like I've said in the last few videos quite a bit. I want to start kind of like a little series where I go through and do kind of famous flats or like TV sets. So today we are doing Monica's flat from Friends. It is one of the more kind of iconic flat designs, I think, and quite colourful and interesting. Um, Fair warning though, I filmed this part of the speed build, the actual speed build itself, months and months ago. I think it may have been in April. So I don't necessarily remember everything, and the packs that I used will have only been the ones that were out at the time. There is also going to be a fair amount of watching me faff. I left in not all of the things that I did wrong and corrected, but a fair bunch of it, just to kind of go through the full spectrum of what I was attempting to do. So there will be a fair bit of back and forth. But so far we're just sort of setting up the basic colours. Obviously nothing matches exactly what they have on set. And then trying to sort of build it up around that. I think the kitchen was, if I remember correctly, was one of the bits I spent the most time on. Obviously there's a whole wall in this set that you don't see in the actual TV show, so I basically left that quite blank, kind of purposefully. If you like this or enjoy this kind of idea, the next one I'm thinking would probably be Joey's apartment. And then I want to have an idea of like other things people might want to see. So I'm thinking like the houses from Modern Family, or potentially the flats from like the Big Bang Theory, anything like that kind of set dressing wise. I kind of also want to try and do the house from Sabrina the Teenage Witch, the 90s version. That big gothic home that her aunts had. So, as we start the faffing, trying to get stuff to go around on that corner and look like it's all integrated is a lot of fun. I think I managed it just slightly at the end. And then there's this open blue cabinets that were actually quite perfect. I think I changed to a slightly different shade at one point. And they've got a load of like clutter items, which now that we have a clutter pack or a clutter kit out, that I haven't actually bought yet, but I may look into. That might help with this. I don't actually know what it has in the new kits. I am being a little bit cautious about committing to the new kits because they aren't always things that I use very often, unless I'm very much in the style of them. I feel like a clutter kit would work for me. The pastel pop kit I'm a little bit less inclined by, but I also prefer having full packs over kits, and I don't necessarily want to be encouraging them to keep churning out kits while there's massive bugs in a lot of the packs they've sent out recently still. Although they are seem to be getting a lot better at being transparent about what they are and aren't doing at EA, which is interesting. Unless something's happened between me recording this and putting it out, but so a lot of this now is just adjusting the kind of sizing of all the different rooms, because the scale is kind of difficult to get when you're trying to get like a real life area into The Sims. Nothing is ever actually the amount of squares thick that you want. I think I toyed with the idea of using the full. So in the first kind of couple of series, there's an extra column, which they then take out in the later series, but I didn't put that one in. I've gone with kind of a later effect. And also when we come to the bedrooms, I've picked a specific time frame for the second bedroom. The first bedroom doesn't change that often throughout the series, but obviously because the different people come in and live with Monica, the second bedroom goes through a lot of changes, so we'll go through that a bit. Gotta give them a coffee machine. And I tried to sort of mimic what they have with the chairs around the table, in that they're all slightly different. They look kind of like they've been handed down to Monica, or she's gone to like a thrift store and picked up a couple of bits and pieces, rather than it being like a set of chairs. Now, if I remember correctly, the living room, we faffed around with sofas a lot, and we also went back and changed rugs multiple times. So this could be fairly interesting into how long it takes me to actually work this through. Again, we're not finding anything that is perfect to what Monica and the guys would have had. We're just kind of going for something somewhat close. So using that shelving unit over on the left hand side is not what they've got in the show. They've got it kind of built in a little bit, and couldn't quite make that work exactly. So we're kind of just going with the best case guess almost. And now we start with the rugs. Now, if I remember correctly, I go through a shit ton of rugs to try and pick an option. The rug they have is quite specific, but also quite, it's almost like it's quite subtle in what it does. And I just could not match the palette of what it was doing. But I think we come back to that and change that one because that one definitely doesn't fit. We're raising up that top bit because there's like a little step they have on the set when they walk up to the back. And it's hard to get shots of exactly what's happening in the back here. And like I said, it changes depending on what series you're in. So trying to find a consistent image was difficult. But we obviously had to have the closet. I think that later I come back and take out the kind of built-in closet and make it more of the mess that it actually should be. Little hallway table at the side there, and then trying to find some kind of curtains. Now, none of the curtains we have match this kind of idea I've got of double windows. They don't go down far enough into the floor. I probably could have sized them up thinking about it, but I didn't. So we have what we have, unfortunately, in front of us. And then there is like a little chair with a lamp in some occasions, and there is a kind of desk set up. I did get rid of a few of the windows. It started feeling a little bit too big an area. And then trying to clutter up. So they have lots of picture frames up on that kind of area, like a little clustered one like that. And then they've got that window, which every so often one of them will open up and walk out onto the balcony, which doesn't seem like the most efficient way of building a set of flats to have the only balcony option be crawling out of a window. Is that common to do, or was that just kind of part of the show that it was just easier than having a door there? If anyone knows if like New York flats often have that be the only way to get out, because I think in the fire escape of the building in How I Met Your Mother, they have to climb out of a window to get to the fire escape, which makes a bit more sense to me than just it being your balcony. But maybe I'm thinking too hard about it. Got that little seating area which at some point stores presents for Monica's Christmas gifting, which no one knows. And then there's a little table in some circumstances. They never seem to actually use it. And in the first few seasons, it's not there at all, because Rachel uses this area when she's kind of having problems after things that happen with Ross. She's kind of sitting by the window with music playing, and there isn't a table there, but in later shots there are. So just wanted to put one in. Tried to put some of that paneling in, because they've got a lot of paneling on the walls. It does stick out quite a bit because it doesn't match in with the purple behind. If we were ever to get ourselves an actual colour wheel, that would that would help me match that in. That could look better. As it is, it kind of just looks like it really stands out and it looks a bit strange. But we're going to let it go. We're going to move on. Yeah, they have lots of like lamps and stuff around. They're used quite often in the actual show as like props for things as well. And little coffee tables and stuff. So just kind of littering that around the area. Again, for the most part, we've kind of got the vibe of the flat down now. It does feel kind of similar to the big opening parts of the Friends flat. It's just adding little bits and pieces. So obviously they've got an older style TV because it's from the 90s. We don't have anything that feels close to that kind of French design poster that she has on the wall. But I think I try and make up with something. We've changed the rug again. It's still not right. That rug became the bane of the whole thing, if I remember correctly, when I first did this. Yeah, little sound system in the corner. And they do have like these little wall fixtures that look kind of similar to those. And lots of pictures and clutter and things. Definitely, you know, trying to make it look as if it's a fully lived in set and not kind of just done on a whim kind of thing. Then I scaled everything down ever so slightly, and this I think is where I decided that I actually wanted the proper green door And then later I come back and fill that with loads of little bits and pieces to make it look like the kind of shove cupboard that it actually is. So the bathroom, again, we don't have very many shots of it. This will be dealt with, bear with me. I don't know why I didn't. I think at this point I thought, oh, I could hide that with a bath, and I went, oh no, maybe I can't. So we're gonna do a little bit of faffing around, doing a little bit of Sims magic. We're gonna hide certain aspects of things in a minute, because that bathroom is also slightly too big. But I am gonna faff with that cabinet a few more times, aren't I? I just really desperately wanted the cabinet to look like it was a full thing. So we are just going to close that area off because no one needs to see that and it's not relevant to what we're doing. The bathroom does have a fair few shots, but again, it has kind of shots in different seasons and it goes through slight changes in what they do. So we're just kind of going for the vibes. She has stuff over the top of the toilet, and like, yeah, the kind of shampoos and stuff above that. So that's what we've gone with here. Trying to match in where we can. Bathrooms are not the most interesting of things anyway, but they do have a very warm light in there. I did, because I upped the set there, we have like a little platforming issue, so we just brought the whole bathroom just up to the same level because it doesn't go, they have to go up the step to get to the bathroom, but they don't go down into the bathroom. So why did I move the whole thing? Yeah, doing the bathroom just reminded me of the episodes where or the episode where Chandler is like learning how to do baths and stuff, and everyone keeps wandering in to him, bless his heart. So this was me kind of looking through a different few paintings and just trying to pick the best option of the two, or of the 4 or 5 I pulled out. It's not exact to what she had, adding in more of that kind of paneling, which doesn't look entirely right, but again, we're going for vibes. We're going for vaguely accurate, but not massively worried that it's not perfect. So again, in some of the early seasons, there's like a little chair that is off the side because the shots are a little bit wider, I think. And you do sometimes see like a little area of people sitting. So we're going to go into the bedrooms. As I said, Monica's bedroom is nearly always sort of very similar. There's kind of a little notch in it that I don't know in practicality what they were kind of planning for that, where it's like a boiler or something. But there's no door that I could see, and nothing on the outside that takes you in. So I've just kind of warded it off. There's a whole load of space in this place where you can't actually get anywhere or see anything in those holes. Little sort of, I was going to say divots, but little like extra bits where the windows are. And obviously they wouldn't be going straight out to grass because they are in a flat, but none of the flats were going to let me get this shape without really cutting bits off. So we have gone, we're just in the middle of, I think it's Newcrest I've gone for. So if there's any awkward gaps in this voice recording, I'm every so often just stopping to cough. I got ill in September. I am ill again in December. And if you didn't see any videos from me in November, because November was, if you've ever heard of it, I do a writing challenge in November called NaNoWriMo, and it just took over my life. So I was planning on getting ahead of myself so that you guys had videos, and it didn't happen. As simple as that, to be fair. You don't always know what's going on in certain parts of Monica's room because we don't actually see from that space. And again, in the living room, I can just have like a kind of plain looking wall. But in here, I kind of wanted to add a few bits and pieces. So I think I've added in a chair around there, which I think you do see in some very vague shots. Was doing a lot of Googling, trying to find exactly the right place. And the second room, so like I said, it's gone through lots of different changes in the show as to who is living there. We're going to go with kind of Monica's guest room towards the end. She's kind of painted it all green. It's got very similar vibes to the other room. It has very similar furniture if you ever look at the clips of it. Just before they're moving out, that kind of vibe where they've got like the wardrobe that they're kind of unpacking when they start hitting Joey in the head with lots of bubble wrap and stuff. And Monica is desperately trying to get them to actually pack up their stuff, and they're not having it because they're just faffing around in the room. But again, there's like a little extra bit of wall which doesn't, which I couldn't quite get the scale of right in this. It's almost like a little corridor before you come in, which I just didn't quite manage. But again, the vibes are there. We're kind of there. We're just not massively photo accurate. There are a couple of shelves on the side, I think, so I'm just adding a few bits and pieces that kind of give that vibe. And there is supposed to be like another little hallway. Did I actually manage to fit another hallway table in there? Yes, I did. There's lots of like surfaces. Monica seems to have a thing about putting something down where you can have some kind of surface everywhere for some reason. So this will be the wardrobe they're unpacking when they start hitting Joey in the head with things, or when they find the handcuffs. And again, like a little one of those kind of sconce things. And then this will be the cupboard. I think we're getting quite close to the end of this. But yeah, just kind of really making that look like the mess that it should actually be. So I don't know what else is on the end of this, but I will leave the voiceover portion here. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know if you enjoyed this, or there's any other like set design areas that you'd want me to have a look at doing. If I don't know the show, obviously I will do my best, but we'll see what happens. Thank you so much for watching. I've been Nikki Star, and I will see you in the next one. Ah, Baby Yoda. I forgot I put Baby Yoda in it.